Throughout history, many sages have affirmed that the greatest power of transformation is not found in words, but in silence. Hermes Trismegistus and the Hermetic masters knew that silence is not an empty or meaningless space. It is the secret laboratory in which the soul undergoes profound processes of transfiguration. When we allow ourselves to withdraw, even for brief moments, we enter a space that is not simply the absence of sound, but a living, fertile, and essential field capable of revealing what the noise of the world conceals. Silence is not inertia, but potential. It is a portal to a broader dimension of consciousness, and when we cultivate it, we open the door to true inner alchemy. We live in a time marked by an excess of stimuli. We are constantly surrounded by sounds, conversations, and streams of information arriving without pause. Even when the external environment seems calm, there is the inner noise, the restless mind that replays past events, anticipates fears, and multiplies worries. This mental noise is often more exhausting than external sound because it prevents us from finding rest within ourselves. This constant agitation creates anxiety, disconnection, and spiritual fatigue. In a world where silence is almost always filled immediately with distractions, we have learned to fear it, as if it were too uncomfortable to be alone with our own thoughts. Yet silence is as vital to the soul as sleep is to the body. Without silence, we cannot hear our own inner truth. Without it, there is no ground for spiritual alchemy to take place. Hermeticism teaches us that to transmute is to transform something lower into something higher, and that true alchemy is not about converting metals, but about modifying the states of the soul. Silence is the crucible in which this transmutation occurs. When we retreat into silence, we allow heavy thoughts and confused emotions to dissolve, creating the space for consciousness to rise. It is in this space of quietude that we reconnect with the One, with the All, and it is there that the Logos, the universal reason, can be heard clearly. It is not about abandoning the world or isolating ourselves from it forever, but about cultivating within ourselves the capacity to find silence even in the midst of the storm. Just as gold is purified in fire, the soul is purified in silence. The ancients knew that words can instruct, but silence transforms. Silence does not disperse energy, but concentrates it. It does not fragment, but unifies. It does not conceal, but reveals. It is in this secret laboratory that fear can turn into confidence, pain can be understood as learning, anxiety can be transformed into clarity, and emptiness can give way to fullness. Silence is the invisible raw material in which true alchemy happens. This principle should not remain only in the theoretical or symbolic realm. It can and should be practiced in daily life. The proposal is simple. Set aside every day a small amount of time to remain in conscious silence. In the beginning, it may be just 1 minute. Sit in a quiet place, close your eyes, and allow yourself to be silent. Do not fight against thoughts, and do not force them to disappear. Simply observe them passing by, as if they were clouds crossing the sky. This simple exercise already creates a different inner space, an alchemical field where transformation can begin to occur. Over time, this minute can expand. It may become 5, 10, or 15 minutes. But more important than the amount of time is the quality of presence. Silence is not restricted to external calm. It can be cultivated during moments of transition, such as upon waking, before sleep, or even in stressful situations, when a silent pause can prevent an impulsive reaction and open space for a wiser response. Practicing silence is learning to connect with a deeper dimension of life. It is a habit that changes the way we make decisions, how we react to emotions, and how we relate to others. In silence, the mind gains clarity, emotions find balance, and life reorganizes itself in a more harmonious way. Silence is, therefore, the true alchemist. It is the secret laboratory of the soul, where life is transmuted into consciousness. When we honor silence, we access the invisible workshop where Hermes teaches the art of inner transmutation. It is in this hidden space that eternity is revealed, not as something distant, but as something that already dwells within us. Silence should not be seen as absence, but as presence. The presence of mystery, the presence of the all, and the presence of ourselves in our purest essence. What we often call emptiness is, in fact, the fullness we cannot perceive because of the excess of noise. When we welcome silence, we discover that it has always been there, waiting. By opening ourselves to it, the heart ceases to be a prisoner of agitation and becomes a vessel of light. It is in this vessel that life itself is transformed. In silence, we find what no words can teach, the fullness of being, the eternity of the present moment, and the wisdom that was hidden, waiting to be revealed. We then come to understand, as the ancient sages did, that silence is the greatest of all alchemists, for it is in silence that the soul discovers its power to transfigure, and it is in silence that the all reveals itself in its purest form within us.